Okay, so due to some technical difficulties, I could not obtain the first part of the nervous system. So first, let's look at the eyes of the shark. They are similar to other high vertebrates, but the lenses move further or closer to the retina to focus on near or far objects, like a camera for example. This helps them locate their prey in the dark depths. Now the nose. It's located slightly underneath the front part of the head. Water passes through the nose, into and out of the olfactory sac, permitting the shark to detect the odors of the water. Their nose is really strong and can detect a single drop of blood in 1 million drops of seawater. Next is the lateral line canals. It is one long line that runs from the posterior all the way to the interior of the shark. You'll see in the next picture. System of sensory cells and canals under the skin that detects mechanical movement of the water, changes in the water pressure, and other disturbances in the water. Let's go back to the previous picture. You can see the pectoral fin in the front. It has two, you just can't see the other one from the side. A primary dorsal fin and the secondary dorsal fin at the top or the dorsal side. A pair of pelvic fin on the ventral side and a caudal fin in the posterior that helps it propel forward. The ampullae of Lorenzi are special sensing organs called electroreceptors, forming a network of jelly-filled pores located underneath the head, just above the mouth. In this picture, it's a little hard to see. The pit organs, which is hard to see in this picture, so here's a close-up, are small pores in a row near the base of the pectoral fins and anterior to the first gill slit. It helps detect temperature changes in the water. Alright, so this is a model of the dogfish shark. We couldn't get the actual one, so this is easier to see. This up here, this is the cerebrum. It's part of the brain that interprets sensory information and controls behavior and instincts. This down here, this is the olfactory lobe. It interprets smell. This blue part, it's the optic lobe. It receives sensory information from the retina through the optic nerve. This pinkish color, yeah. This is the cerebellum. It controls muscle impulse, coordination, reflexes, and motor skills. This white part down here, you can see a little better on this side. This is the medulla oblongata. It helps regulate breathing, heart, and blood vessel function.
Alright, how's it going everybody? We're going to be talking about the skin of the shark now. So, as this shark, its body form is classified as fusiform. It's string-like, trying to give it as least resistance as possible swimming through the water. It has a smooth texture if you run with the grain, so caudally, as in this direction. And then if you run against the grain, like towards the anterior end, you can hear the raspiness, kind of like a sandpaper type texture. So that's due to sharp spiny scales called placoid scales embedded within the skin. If you can see within page 5 of the manual, you'll see how the placoid scales are oriented. Also, as you can see, you can tell the difference between the skin coloration. It's much darker on the dorsal side instead of the ventral side. This is due to an adaptation called a counter shading. As the sun, as natural light hits on top of the shark, it produces a shadow underneath, so it makes it less noticeable while hunting for prey or within the dark. And yeah, that's it.
Alright, sharks, just like any other fish, live in the water, and they have the gills, which you see here, and they use their gills to filter the oxygen from the water. When the water passes over the gills, it sends them very fine blood vessels. Take up and absorb the water and absorb the oxygen. Here we have the heart. As you can see right here, it's a 2-chamber heart with the atrium. It's an S-shaped. Now, if you look at the model, blood's been pumped through the heart. You can see the different valves here in the bilayer. And it just moved through the heart, come through the arteries.
So here's the mouth, the start of the digestive system. As you can see, The mouth is just a large opening, and then if you can barely see these small little teeth right here, these are curved inward. You can see it catching. You can actually hear it scraping against the teeth and catching against it. And these barbed teeth are used to catch fish, squid, anything. And due to them being curved inward, it makes it hard for the prey to escape. And then we continue down the esophagus through the intestines, and the digestive system continues. Okay, so we finally opened up the shark, and as you can see, the liver is one of the largest organs within the body. So you have the left and the right, and then you also have the median liver. This has the ability, it produces a lot of oil, which gives the shark buoyancy to swim within the water. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so after a shark attacks its prey and finally starts to begin the process of digesting, it goes through the esophagus, down into the stomach, and me and my group believe that there's possibly fish in here because there's a hard substance. So I will cut it and see what there is. Jeez. Alrighty. And yeah, there's definitely a fish in here. There it is. Opening it. It's pretty big. Yeah. So let me just show the rest all the way down to the bottom. There it is. It's a digested fish right there. Oh my gosh. So after the shark begins the digestion process, it goes through the intestine. As if you can see, all these ridges, all right here, they're called rugae. They're able to contract, so it's almost like a muscle, able to contract and churn the food within the intestine and lead to degrading the fish or octopus, squid, whatever it's eaten. And as you move along through the intestine, we come up to the spleen. This is this like purple triangular shape organ. And then as we move, it goes through this small little tube we come into the valvular intestine, where it has a spiral valve where it increases surface area and absorption of nutrients and anything that it needs from the food that is just recently eaten. And then it goes through the cloaca and out the anus due through its one opening.
Alright, here's the testes. Since it's a male, and they're located towards the head, behind the heart, because the heart keeps it warm since they're in the water. And that's where the sperm is produced. And there's one of them. Here is the other one.
Alright, so this is the kidney right here. It spans from the posterior all the way up to the anterior. It's on both sides of the shark. This side you can see a little better. It's supposed to be a little darker, like you can kind of see it's black here. It's supposed to be darker than, like, all the way throughout. It functions as a removal for the waste in the lower half, down here. But then as you go up to the upper half, in males, it functions as a part of the reproduction system. However, in females, it doesn't do anything, so it's kind of just useless. Then if you look all the way down here towards the cloaca, this part, this little beady thing here, this is the urinary papilla. It emerges from the cloaca, and it's exit point for urine.